Welcome to Timeless Talks with Teja with Mr. Shailendra Gulhati, Part 2. Welcome once again, sir, to Timeless Talks with Teja.
Hello, Priya. How are you?
I'm
Good
fine,
to be
sir.
here. Good to be here with Teja and all your viewers once again.
Thank you very much for accepting my invite again, sir.
You're welcome.
Many of my friends, everyone wanted to once again see the interview, sir. That's why we are doing Part 2 with you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, can you tell us about the books written by you, sir?
Yes, I have written 6 books. Some of them are ebooks. Most of them are ebooks. There is one book which I wrote right in the beginning, the first book. And in the beginning, there was a print version which we made a self-production. I was a much younger man. This book is about 30 years old. It's called The Yogi and the Snake. This was a spiritual diary where the yogi is Lord Shiva and the snake is me. And they meet, and the snake asks questions, and Shiva restores his self-esteem for him, that the world is a good place to be. After that, I made a coffee table book with a very famous artist from Delhi. Her name is Arpana Kaur, and she has some fabulous art. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave us a foreword for this book, saying that he's very happy with it, and it reminds him of some of the things that he admires most in India. After that, so these books were both self-effort. Our publisher is a gentleman from my town, from Jammu, Mr. Vinay Saraf, who helped us, and my friend Arvind Kalra, who helped us. And then I started making ebooks. I made an ebook of this one, The Yogi and the Snake. Then I made an ebook called Shiva, the Ultimate Time Traveler. This is in part 1 and part 2. Then we have a book called Shiva Poetry, and another book called And Life Said. And Life Said, or Zindagi Ne Kaha, is a book of short spiritual quotes. So these are the 6 books I have. And they are all online on Amazon, except Namroop, the coffee table.
Sir, in your book, The Yogi and the Snake, you have talked about personal meditation and transpersonal meditation. Can you tell us the difference between those two?
Personal meditation, as the word personal suggests, is something that you do for yourself. Actually, in honesty, most treks into that world, the world of dhyana and meditation, they begin with a personal meditation. You want something personally, or you're looking for something personally. Maybe you're looking for your love life, or some money, or meeting your ishta, improving your own understanding of life. So there's a personal motive behind it. You do it for yourself. But if you're lucky and God's anugraha, grace, is really upon you, you do reach what you were looking for, but your journey does not stop there. And then you go on to a transpersonal meditation. So now Shal is not doing dhyana only for Shal's welfare, right? It's transpersonal. It's for the bigger picture, for Priya, for your audience, for my wife, for my daughter, for my uncle, for my friends, for your uncle, and so on, for the whole world, for the whole Srishti. So that's transpersonal. It's not only pertaining to you. So that is the difference. So in the methodology is very technical here. It will remain the same. But basically speaking, in transpersonal meditation, you think outside of yourself, right? Me, me, my cake, my problems, my car, my house, you let that go, right? In personal meditation, you may begin with that, but the meditation makes it go also, right? You go beyond that. But in transpersonal meditation, you are a bit of a, bodhisattva or an atlas who wants to uplift others, who wants to think about others. It's not only about my life. What about the life of others? So a transpersonal meditation begins when you are already familiar with personal meditation. It's a bigger thing.
It's like phase 2 of personal meditation.
Yes, it's the maturity of when you have success in personal meditation, when you are gratified with what is happening with you, with the transformations that you're going through, with the spiritual understanding that you're getting, with the quality of life which is improving for you, then because you're a good soul, good heart, you want to be able to do this for others as well. Why not?
Sir, why did you compare man to a snake, not with any other animal with similar characteristics in your book Yogi and the Snake?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. There are so many animals, and the yogi is undoubtedly Shiva, so there's no replacement of that. Shiva has his own epithets, one of which is Pashupatinath, where he's lord of all animals. So why was it not Yogi and the elephant, or Yogi and the tiger, or why the snake? Uh, I must confess, this is one of the keystones of the book, that I use the snake because I wanted to use an animal which I don't like and which people generally don't like and nobody will accept. And that animal I thought is the snake, right? A snake is something nobody really likes. You don't really have pets as snakes, or you stay away from them. And so, in a way, I wanted to use an animal which is reprehensible. It was on my mind that one of the striking features of Bhagwan Shiv is the snake, Bhujgendraharam. He uses the snake as his garland. So I wanted to know why something which we despise almost, why Shivji accepts that. That's one part. And why did I want to call myself something that I despise? Well, at that point, it was that most human beings are very selfish and they bite each other for survival. This is what I thought snakes do. That was my ignorance. Later in the book, Shivji says, hey, snakes do not bite each other for survival. I thought snakes shed skins and get nowhere. Like you lose many lifetimes and get nowhere. He said, snakes do not shed skins and get nowhere. They reach their woods of harmony. So I use the animal snake because I wanted to show something, some being with a very low self-esteem. I personally did not have a very low self-esteem, but I thought that largely we have become very self-centered and very selfish, and that is a snake-like behavior. So it was used as a negative, but as the book progresses, the snake comes out as the most beautiful animal whom Shivji loves very much.
Sir, what are the books that changed your life or has a huge impact in your life, sir?
Book reading has been a very, very important part of the last generation. My mother was an avid book reader. She had read lots of literature. And when I was able to read sentences quickly enough, she used to buy me a lot of Enid Blyton's. Enid Blyton was a fairy tale author, and she was fabulous. She had graded her books. We had Green Dragon, Blue Dragon, and Red Dragon. So one for juniors, one for middle-aged kids, and one for the senior kids. I graduated through all the dragons. She influenced me a lot because she was writing fairy tales. And although a lot of management gurus say, do not teach your children fairy tales, they never happen, teach them management, I somehow see the flaw in that now. We must retain fairy tales. We must have awe of the miraculous, of the magical, of the heavenly, of fairy tales. To put it more scientifically, fairy tales kindle our imagination. They stroke our imagination. And none less than Einstein himself said, imagination is far, far more important than knowledge. Knowledge, you will get what has been said so far. Imagination will take you to the next point. So Enid Blyton stroked my imagination, so I'm very grateful to her. When I grew up and started reading some more spiritual literature, I didn't only read spiritual books, but Those are the ones which have really shaped my life. That's what you're asking. Swami Vivekanand, his complete works, 8 volumes, are a must for anyone who really wants to understand everything: East, West, North, South, past, present, future. Swamiji has it all. He's penned it down very eloquently, and that is my gospel even till today. Though my subject which I teach is Shaivism, but I'm always going back to Swami Vivekananda. And then, of course, there is the Shaivism literature, the Shiva Sutras, the Shiva Puran, the stories of Shiva. And coming to stories again, back to childhood, at my time, there was a company called Amar Chitra Katha. It's still there. And they made some fantastic comics. And I read many of the gods through them, and I'm very grateful. The comic industry is going through its own phases. I have a friend called Karan Veer. He makes comics again on the gods, very modern style, very good. I have helped him with the Shiva comics. His company is called Vimanika. If you Google it, you will get it. So Amar Chitra Katha shaped me, and then in turn, I tried to help by shaping Vimanika. So many more are there. But another one, probably lesser known in some parts, this one book, Laleshwari, she was a great Kashmiri saint. This book has helped me a lot, though one would think it is a feminine kind of thing, but when we are in search of the divine, well, there's no gender there, right?
Yes.
We are a boy or a girl, we're looking for God, and that's what matters.
Sir, can you tell us about Bhagwan Kalabhairav, sir?
Kal Bhairav. Why do you ask about Kal Bhairav? Let me ask you.
I don't know, sir. Recently, for the past 1 or 2 years, I feel drawn to Bhagwan Kalbhairav, sir.
Right. So have you seen his images?
Yes, sir. I went to Kashi recently and I have gone to Kalbhairav temple also.
Right. So Kal Bhairav is very fierce, right? And if you see the art images, not the idols, you will see him with a dog. You will see him with a big sword, very fierce warrior, mustache, and all that, well muscled, well sinewed. So he's very fierce. There is no two questions about that. And he is like a gatekeeper, right? He's like the protector, right? When you have a great city, you have a wall around it, and there are people, your warriors are on those walls trying to guard you. Kal Bhairav is a one-man army, which is Shiva, right? So when Kal Bhairava decides to protect the city, there is no one who can come in. So he's a protector, in a way, like a chowkidar. Chowki is a post, and chowkidar, the one who holds the post. So Shiva as Kal Bhairav is the one who holds the whole city or the whole town, or maybe the whole planet Earth, or maybe the whole Srishti itself, right? So he is a protector. Why does he have a dog? Well, there are many understandings from this. Of course, we know dog is man's best friend. He's a very loyal animal. He will go wherever the man goes, and very faithful kind of a person. And there is a certain, uh, you know, cultural association of man and dog, and that they move together as an army, right? And even Christian literature has something called the hounds of heaven. So we'll not go into that, but there are lots of connections in all these parables and fairy tales. But now we shift to Kashmir Shaivism, and they do not call him Bhairava, or Kal Bhairava, or they do not just call him Bhairava, Kal Bhairava, or Mahakal Bhairava. They call him Para Bhairav, right? So the Bhairav there takes on a very different connotation. It's a word with 3 sounds in it: bha, ra, va. Bha means bharna, which means to sustain, right? The sustainer, like Vishnuji. Ra is Ravan Karna, to take away. Harna, dissolution, like Shiva. And Va is Vaman Karna, to project. like Brahmaji. So Bhairava for the Kashmir Shaivites is that Shiva is actually the creator, the nourisher, and the dissolver, right? So there he becomes another kind of Kal Bhairava, Mahakal himself. That is more philosophical, less to do with, iconography of this kind. But we see somewhere how they all merge. So Bhairava is a very, very high, fierce, responsible kind of a Rupam of Mahadev.
Dog is always shown along with Kalabhairava, no, sir. But why only black dogs, sir?
Well, I'm not aware if there is only a black dog. Largely, it is a black dog. With Mahadev, everything is possible. The color black connotes many things for us. It sort of connotes. We tend to think of black as dark, and but if you see the shamans, the medicine men, or the sort of the mantra yogis, uh, we can say the witchcraft. But again, witchcraft also, when it comes to this black and Bhairava, and we get into the tantric side, and therefore some of the words convey a wrong meaning. Now, when I say medicine man or a shaman or a witchcraft, it is good, positive, right? Positive spells, positive incantations. So the color black is always dominant there also, right? Ma Kali, right?
Yeah.
So I think black basically tries to denote that which you are scared of, the unknown. But now, if you want to know God in his totality, you have to go there. So this is the color black. So when it comes to a black dog, so not only is it a dog who, if he's friendly, is good, but if a dog is not friendly with you, he will bite you, and so on. Not only is he a dog who can bite, but he's a black dog on top. So it's a psychological kind of thing, as far as I'm concerned. There may be some mythology behind this. I'm truly ignorant of it, so I will tell the viewers that I will not like to comment on something I don't know. But so I'm giving you my picture of what does the image of a black dog convey to you psychologically. It's fierce like its owner again. That's what I mean, right?
Okay, sir. Sir, what is your opinion on people comparing Shivalingam to a nuclear reactor?
Yes, I have heard this several times. Once from a very erudite, very senior police officer from south of India, and yes, the resemblance is too obvious to ignore. The resemblance is too obvious to ignore. It must be having some great kind of geometry behind it, in which that shape is more conducive for a nuclear reaction. And when you hear of this, you are also told sometimes, and nuclear reactors are very charged, warm places, or whatever, warm as in explosive.
Yes, sir.
So that's why also on the Shivlinga, we are constantly dripping water. And in my part of the country, which is Dogri and Punjabi, on the autos, it is written Thand Rakh, remain cool, remain cool. So Shiva is both Bholenath and Bhutnath. We like to know him as Bholenath, yeah, right? So Thand Rakh, yeah, remain cool. So nuclear reactors are a reality of the modern world. Man has invented nuclear reactors, so some countries which can afford it for various reasons. It does not only have to be army reasons, right? It can be many things. Nuclear physics can give us many benefits, and nuclear reactions can give us a lot of propulsion and rockets, and I'm sure there are many things. So it's a reality of our time, right? And we should not ignore it. And I'm happy that this reality is also reminding of the old Baba all over again. So yes, I think there is definitely a connection.
Sir, what is difficult, sir? Seeking God through detachment or seeking God while doing grahasthashram?
Uh, this is a question which is not as simple as it seems. It would seem to us that seeking God through detachment is easy, and through grahasth ashram is difficult. But firstly, all the modern Swamis have said that, especially Kashmir Shaivism, Swami Lakshmanji, that seeking him through Grihastha ashram, when you are still the husband, the father, the business person, the worker, uh, the fruit is better. God appreciates that this person or this lady is taking care of both. That is one. The fruit of the Grihastha ashram of seeking God is greater. Also, as the word implies, then you can share the fruit with everyone. You can. When we go for a yatra and we get prasadam, and your mama has not come with you, but you carry it back in your pouch. Anna? Mom, here, have some. So it is, yeah, it may be more difficult because you're distracted, but if you get used to it, that is the right way. To serve God, look for God right from where you are. Don't have to run into the jungles.
Sir, is it really truly possible to be detached from everything?
What do you think?
I think it's not possible, sir.
Well, it's not possible for me. Uh, it is very difficult to be detached from everything. If you take Mahadev himself, he's very attached. He's not detached. He's very attached. The whole volume of mythology of what happens to Mahadev when Sati Ma goes away, it's all about attachment. But I take it what you're saying, detachment in the spiritual sense, be in the world but not of it. Detachment does not mean that you don't use anything, but that don't own anything, but that nothing can own you. Yes, correct. But even there, to be fully detached is a very high merit. Very few can do it. The more that we can see through the limitation of things, the better for us. We don't have to be detached with everything. It's not very easy, but we don't also have to be addicted too much to these kind of things. I mean, if I have a new purchase of a fancy, let's say I'm a lady and I buy a fancy Gucci bag, and yeah, it's okay to see it once or twice in the mirror. But Sara din the whole day, if we are doing that, then it becomes a distraction. But to be completely detached from everything, it is almost like an impossibility, because that is not the nature of becoming. We are becoming. Yeah, pure energy, Nirakar is being. The nature of pure being makes it easy to be detached, but there is no other. But the nature of becoming, when once we are in the manifest world, once we take a name and a form, we have to have some attachment. So then I guess we need to be discerning to what should we be attached still, and to what we should let those things loosen their grip on us.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question, sir. If one took loving God as the path to reach God and expect something in return, anything, materialistic gains or knowledge or Shiva's blessings, whatever that might be, is it considered being selfish? Which love is greater, sir? Loving with expectations or loving without expectations?
Again, this is similar to your detachment question. To love without any expectations is a very high merit. Very few can do that kind of thing. I mean, unless you are a bhakt like Bhaktaraj Nandi, or if you are like Rabia Basri, who said, I do not love God for want of something, because that will make me a trader. I do not go to God for fear of him, because that would make me, something else. I go only because I just want God for God's sake. So it's very difficult. We must be honest that most of us look towards God or a higher power when we have some need. We may be in a problem and we want to come out of it, or we may not be in a problem, but we want something. And not all wants and not all expectations and desires are greedy. I mean, it's one thing to want, $50 billion when you can live with a few 100,000. But what happens when you fall in love with a boy, and where do you go? You do Sola Somvar, go to Shivji 16 times. So we all have a little expectation when your
Yes,
parent
sir.
is not well. God, please make them okay. When your exam on your head and you have been a naughty girl and not studied, God, please make me pass.
Yes, yes,
So we
sir.
all go, and this is part of God's Leela. He is our Father, He knows everything. It's part of God's Leela that we turn to a higher power when we have an expectation or a want. So it's quite natural. And I don't say there is anything wrong in trying to see is there a power which can give me what I want, but we can't make a habit of it. Anna?
Yes, sir.
I have a saying, God grants, but should we take him for granted? No. Anna?
Yes,
So
sir.
yes, we want to see if God can give us something, see, and he gives you, and then don't make a habit of it. Start thinking in terms of what can I do,
Yes,
Tera
sir.
tujhko arpan. Can I also do something for God? I wanted money, he gave me money. Can I also distribute some? I wanted my love marriage, he gave me. Can I also help others to get along in their life? That kind of thing. So we do have a little expectation when we go to God, and I think that's natural. But then I am me. I sort of am very liberal with many of these things because it's better to understand them from the perspective of a human need. And we go to God because we need God. It's as simple as that. And then we fall in love with Him. And then the needs become less and the love becomes more.
Yes, sir. Thank you,